Hey guys, what's up, Happy May. It's been a while since I posted another travel sit-down video. I'm trying to keep up with these. Today I'm filming in my room in California, which I haven't done before. The lighting in here is good, so hopefully this will be my spot for future videos. I wanted to talk about solo travel in this video, and that means traveling by yourself. Should you do it? Should you not do it? My thoughts on it, my experience with it, whether or not I would do it again, and if I would recommend it to you. I have traveled by myself quite a few times. I've been alone. I'm probably one of the people that I know that spends the most time by themselves. I am actually pretty introverted. I have a lot of friends, but I usually hang out with people one-on-one, and I actually really value the time that I have by myself. I need that time to kind of re-energize myself. When I'm a lot of people, it kind of exhausts me. So let's just start by telling you that I am kind of introverted in some regard. That's why I do enjoy traveling by myself sometimes. Then I also went to Chicago by myself when I got my TOEFL certification to teach English abroad before I left for Korea. Now, leaving to Chicago was my longest trip domestically. I was in Chicago for a month, and it was the first time that I traveled somewhere by myself completely, going to a different place that I don't know anybody. So I was stoked about it, and for me, it was a way to see if I could even make it. Because if I couldn't make it in Chicago, then how would I have made it moving to another country and living in Korea where I know nobody as well? The only difference is when you go and you travel by yourself in a different city, domestically within your country, it's really not a big deal because everyone speaks English and it's easier to meet people and talk to people. It's not as foreign and scary. Some people aren't even willing to do that, but I think that if you're open-minded, it can reap some great memories for you. When I was in Chicago and I took that TOEFL course with International TOEFL Academy for my certification, I made some great friends. We had a tight-knit group of 10 students, and I still keep in touch with about half of those people, and they're all over the world. They're in China, they're in Vietnam, they're in Spain. If you're thinking about visiting a city within the United States or within your country and it's safe to go there, then book the ticket and go. There's nothing that should hold you back because you can meet people a lot better when you're actually by yourself and when you're willing to open up your mind and, you know, yourself to meeting other people. Now let me talk about traveling abroad alone. So I guess my first real traveling abroad experience by myself would be my move to South Korea back in 2015 and 2016. When I moved to Korea, I didn't know anybody aside from two of my classmates from Chicago. One of them lived in Busan and the other one lived in Seoul. However, I was placed in the middle of northern Korea, like right by the border of the DMC in Cheorwan. And I had no idea, you know, what I was getting myself into. I didn't know where I was gonna live. I didn't know anyone. And it was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life. One, because I don't speak the language. And again, I know people are gonna be like, why would you move to a country if you don't speak the language? But it's possible, guys. Like, we went over there to teach English. I didn't go over there to learn Korean. Although I did pick up on some Korean, I'm not fluent. But it's scary when you're in a foreign place. You don't know the language, you don't read the language, you don't know anybody, you don't have anybody to show you around. But things get better. Living abroad is different than just going on a trip abroad because I was there for long enough to build relationships with people and make friends. But that was my actual first time going somewhere by myself and living somewhere by myself and putting myself in a situation and in a place that was completely foreign to me. But it all worked out. So, I mean, it was hard at first, but you make friends easily. So Korea was the first time that I actually traveled by myself and it all worked out. And then my first major solo trip was when I went to New Zealand, Queenstown, New Zealand, in South Island of New Zealand. And I was in New Zealand for a week by myself. And I think I made a great choice because I had traveled to different countries with different friends, and then it was like the last little bit of travel before I came back home to visit my family. So I had this solo time to kind of reflect on the year that I had, and New Zealand was a great place to travel by myself because, I mean, you really don't need friends or companions just to take in the sights and enjoy that. So all of those experiences with traveling abroad for me were positive for the most part. The best thing about it is that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. You don't have to consider anybody else's agenda. If you don't feel like doing anything, then you do whatever you want. So that's the best part about traveling alone, is that you move to the beat of your own drum. You can sleep in, you can wake up early and, venture out, or, you schedule everything by yourself, and there's not like a conflict of interest with different people, like when you travel in a group. For the most part, I traveled by myself and I did whatever I wanted. And some days I just winged it, and other days I had everything planned to a T. Now, I've traveled in groups before with, 3 or more people, or just one other person, and then I've noticed that when you travel in a group, you're less inclined to put yourself out there to meet people. So the good thing about traveling by yourself is that it's easier to meet people because you are by yourself, and you want, or at least I want, to meet people so that I can, learn about where they're from. You meet so many different types of people, especially if you're traveling by yourself. I highly recommend staying in a hostel. Just make sure that the hostel reviews are good. The hostel lounging areas, the kitchen area, even in the rooms, you can make friends with your bunkmates or whoever's in your room, and you'll meet people from all over the world, as opposed to staying in a hotel by yourself. Unless you're a little older and hostels aren't for you. I'm starting to get to that age now where I don't really want to stay in a hostel, but they are great places to meet people, especially if you're by yourself and you're traveling. I actually haven't traveled to anywhere dangerous by myself. I think Korea and New Zealand were perfect locations and destinations to go by myself because they're fairly safe countries. And New Zealand, they spoke English, it was easy. Anytime that I have someone that actually wants to go with me and I enjoy their company, then of course I'm going to choose to go where I can have a companion. But traveling to some places by yourself should never, the thought of it, I don't think should ever stop you from going wherever you want to go. A lot of times, if you wait for your friends or family to be ready to go somewhere with you, they're just never going to be ready. Like, sometimes people are always like, oh yeah, I'm down, I'm going to go with you, I still want to go, like, to let me know when you're ready to book. But then when push comes to shove and you actually book your ticket and you're ready to pay for it and ready to go, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't, I have work, I have kids, I have other stuff getting in the way, which makes sense because life gets in the way, but some people don't prioritize that, and they won't be able to travel with you. So if you keep waiting for the right perfect moment to travel somewhere just because you don't want to go by yourself, you may just never end up going. And I'm never going to let that stop me. Another thing that I don't usually let stop me, and I get asked this a lot, is do you ever get scared just traveling, to different places? Are you worried about like terrorism and attacks and, there's so many things happening in the world right now. Like in Paris, there was those shootings, and, everywhere in the world, there is some crazy shit going on. And in some places, it's worse than others. But if you always let the fear of something bad happening, that paranoia of something bad happening to you, if you've left where your home is, then you'll never go anywhere and you'll never see the world. And as scary and dangerous and big as the world is, like, it's not that bad to where you shouldn't limit yourself to see it just because something could happen, because things can happen just right at home. People get shot up at the movie theaters, running the Boston Marathon, or just, their backyard, or at a gas station, or anywhere. Like, shit can go down anywhere. Now, of course, there's some places that are worse than others, and the thing is, just educate yourself, inform yourself, read up on it, make sure that you know what to watch out for when you're traveling. Be well-informed and prepared traveler to wherever you're going. There's some places that I'm not sure if I would go there by myself. Like South America still kind of scares me a little bit. Certain parts like Brazil or even India, I'm not sure if I should travel to those places as a single female by myself. But as I'm going to do the research, I ask people who've traveled there before and get their advice and their guidance and any tips they have for someone who is traveling alone. There's so many blogs, articles, videos out there that you can read about people who have done it. And things happen, but great things happen too. So don't let that limit you from going somewhere that you want to go. Solo travel is not, the right approach for everybody. Some people don't like to be alone. Like if you're not introverted and you're more an extrovert, you're gonna need that energy from other people, and you're gonna feel lonely and bored and kind of sad if you feel like you're always traveling by yourself and you have no one to experience these things with. So if you always are with somebody and you're the type of person that you always need somebody by your side, and you're more of a follower than a leader, and you need someone to guide you all the time, and you get anxiety, or you just have a hard time navigating things by yourself, then maybe solo travel is not for you. I mean, to each their own. Some things are more fitted for other people. And it doesn't mean that you're less of a person or you're not as good of a person. I'm just saying that some people might not enjoy solo travel as much as others. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I do think that if you're thinking about solo traveling and you're just scared or you're not sure if you should do it, I say go for it. I have never regretted anywhere that I've gone by myself, ever. Like, ever. Aside from maybe like walking around Madrid by myself because I got jacked, if you watched my last video. Other than that, I mean, I still don't regret it. Yeah, like I got pickpocketed, but that's just a life lesson. It's a hard life lesson, and that's it. That's all I have to say about solo travel and traveling by yourself. Don't let your fears, paranoia, and other people's shit talking or things stop you from where you want to go. If you want to go, book that ticket, drive there, fly there, sail there, do whatever you can to get out there and see the world, because we only live one life, and in 20 years or whenever you're old, you don't want to look back and be like, oh, I should have gone. And I think that's more important than whether or not there's some danger or some scariness out there. This is all I have to say about traveling solo. I don't plan on taking a solo trip anytime soon. I do plan on maybe taking a solo hike soon by myself. But other than that, that's it for this video. I would love if you guys give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, give me any ideas for new videos. Also, if there's anywhere that you recommend that people shouldn't travel by themselves, then leave it in the comment section below, and any recommendations for good places to travel alone. I would also love to hear your stories and your comments and all of that. Just a little update, I am very, very busy now. I am finally kind of settling into my life in California. I have almost 2 or 3 jobs now, so I'm going to try to keep up with this channel. I do love this, and I still have some trips planned soon. I'm going to Florida at the end of the month with my family, and then I'll be in Atlanta early next month in June. So I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks again for watching. I hope you go wherever your heart desires and do whatever you feel like, because we only live one life. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video, guys. Peace.